Hello, ENVS 282. My name is Matthew Scott, and I'm here to present Missing Piece, Broken Ecosystem. I have a hypothesis that every creature, no matter how small or insignificant, has an impact one way or another on its environment, whether it be a tiny little sea urchin or in the a local predator in this slice of great wide ocean blue. We as human beings especially have an effect on any ecosystem that we come in contact with. But I wanted to prove it with something that we might take for granted. Our local mascot, the sea otter. Now, let me give you some history. From the 1700s to the 1800s, our local sea otter was hunted to almost near extinction, which is sad to say, but the reason for it being their thickly padded fur coats, able to have a million hair fibers per cubic foot, well, per cubic inch. Very soft, very lovable. Made a bunch of money off of those fur coats, but we kind of reached our peak in. Let me zoom in on the graph, please. In the early 1800s, from 1805 to 1809, is when we really hit our peak with the mass slaughter of our aquatic mammal friends. It wasn't stopped until wasn't stopped until 1973. By then, the otter population been decreased so small that people had thought they had gone extinct. In 1973, the ESA was put in place, the Endangered Species Act, to protect any local wildlife or marine life that was put in extremist circumstances by capitalist and human greed. So, what happened to our sea otter friends after being put to near extinction? Well, a few of them were able to survive. And in the 1930s, 50 were found. 50 were found, found alive, still hiding out, which is great. A part of the ecosystem that had been almost wiped out was almost wiped out. There is hope. Unfortunately, due to the mass slaughter of our marine friends, their prey expounded, to say the least. Their populations exploded. More or less, their prey being our nice and not so friendly sea urchins, the little prickly things you find in your nice little coral reefs. They have a nice appetite for, roll please, your local kelp forests, which, sad to say, are a vital part of any part of the ocean. Kelp, kelp is needed to feed countless other fish and other microorganisms. But because the sea urchin had lost its main predator, they exploded, and as I said before, exploded in population and eat kelp forests completely. I will show you a little diagram. Well, not a diagram, a picture of what's considered to be an urchin barren is. You see right there in the bottom corner of the upper to right quadrant. All those little purplish, whitish things all over the ocean floor, those happen to be sea urchins. And the little stream beings that they're attached to are what we usually would call kelp trees. Usually filled with life and kelp and seaweed, going up from the bottom all the way to the near, up to where ocean meets the air. Sorry, the word has escaped me. But as you can see in the picture, or as you could see, they're little stream beings, little to nothing left on them. That's because the sea urchins have gobbled them all up of all of their nutrients, leaving nothing else to eat from them. Sadly enough, including themselves, which is why even though otters' populations has been extremely rebounding in the last 2 decades, reaching upwards to 3,000, they have not gone to eat any of the sea urchins. Though, because they are starved out from completely consuming their main source of nutrients. Sorry, another word escaping my mind. Because the sea urchins have eaten their main source of nutrients, the sea otters aren't interested in them because the sea urchins are now starving themselves because they have nothing left to eat. So, disappearance of sea otters leads into a domino effect. The influx of sea urchins now means the complete desolation of kelp trees and kelp forests and the like, leading to urchin barrens, leading to now that otters are back and off the endangered species registry, aren't able to eat what was one of their main sources of prey, one of their main sources of food, all because they're not worth it anymore. It'd be like if McDonald's decided to swap out all their meat patties for extremely low quality meat substitute. Not even the Impossible meat, but the sludge that you would see at the bottom of the grill of the Impossible meat. All that little grime, that was in your burger instead. Still tasty, well, still food, still edible, but not really giving you what you need. So where have we gone from here? So where do we go from here? There are treatments being done to entice the otters to eat our prickly little friends, but that is taking much slower than we need. So slow that the better outcome might be that we just wait until a large amount of sea urchins starve to death, leading to hopefully a rebound in kelp trees. That's an option. It's not the best option. We've kind of human interference has kind of led this whole ecosystem to fall apart, to be broken, as one might say. Fortunately, but unfortunately, the only bright side is that otters are on the rise again, but even those have been starting to stagnate, no longer on the incline that they were back in the early 2000s. Unfortunately, we'll just have to wait and see where this goes. Thank you for listening. I wish you all a great day.